We hit the road in our tiny lab when my oldest daughter was just 6 weeks, which meant her car seat was important. And I researched the safety features, of course, but I also started to wonder what these things were made of. I mean, our daughter was going to spend hours in this car seat, which was going to heat up in a parked truck and release chemicals from that heat. Here I was, swaddling my daughter in organic cotton. So how could I get a car seat without considering the materials? Now, as we build a bigger house, what we bring into our home is equally important. And so, just like choosing a non-toxic car seat, there are lots of ways to educate yourself about these materials. And there's some companies that are even accepting the challenge ahead of regulation to make home furnishings and building materials safe for you and your family. Then if you don't know where to start or what to consider, Home Diagnosis is a great place to begin. As we build this house, we'll keep coming back to indoor air quality. The important thing to remember is that what you bring into your home is what you'll be living with and breathing every day. You might have heard the myth that homes need to breathe, which implies that you don't want to build too airtight. This is completely wrong if you want to control home performance. Build tight and then ventilate right.
Here's the mistake we make if we depend on accidental air leakage through the cracks in a home. First, you can't control where the air your family breathes comes from or where it goes. You might be breathing polluted air from a crawl space, or you might be pushing warm, moist air into a cold building cavity where it'll condense and grow mold.
Second, a house that breathes through the cracks depends entirely on the weather outside to drive circulation. When it's very hot, cold, or windy out, you'll get way more accidental ventilation than you need, which makes it overly dry or humid inside. And when the weather is mild outside every spring and fall, that's when it gets really interesting.
Imagine you have a week of lukewarm weather with cloudy skies. If the temperature outside and inside is the same, then you'd get virtually no accidental ventilation at all. The whole goal of the indoors is to give us a refuge from the weather. So why would you want to depend on it for your accidental ventilation?
Plus, now more than ever, we know that when a builder hands over the keys and a family moves in, they need systems in place to control the indoor chemistry. Every time that family cooks or uses cleaning products, they can make the indoor air exponentially more polluted than outdoors.
So, aim for as much airtightness as you can get at home, and then get the right amount of fresh air from the right place with your ventilation system.
Everything in Home Diagnosis centers on the invisible dynamics of physics and chemistry at work in your home, all day, every day. And a lot of people are trained to think it's all about energy efficiency. Here's why it's about so much more.
We like to break home performance down into the 4-3-2-1 approach we talk so much about. If you're a fan of this show, you know the one goal we're after is control over the two systems, skin and circulatory. And we use the 3 recommendations to get there: air sealing, insulation, and HVAC upgrades.
The 4 elements we're trying to control at the end of the day are pretty straightforward: the flow of heat, air, moisture, and toxins. Heat is probably pretty obvious to you. It bleeds out of your home in the winter and bleeds in during the summer.
Airflow is a much more subtle dynamic, and it leads to pressure imbalances, especially in today's more airtight homes. We need to be more aware of this element because it's easy to detune a home by putting in new fans or changing ducts. And it's also simple to avoid that by testing for it.
Moisture is a big deal. And if you don't already know, too little and we get cracks in the walls and sore sinuses. But if we have too much, we grow green fuzz in corners and things start to disintegrate.
And the final and most important element is air quality, which is influenced by all the other elements. The air your family breathes at home is made of chemicals, some good for you and some toxic, and laden with life forms, again, some good and some bad for you.
When you look at home performance using these 4 elements, it's clear that only 2 of them affect energy efficiency, and they're the 2 least critical ones to your family's health. To control moisture and indoor pollution, we need machines that use energy, and that's not technically efficient.
And as we try to make homes more energy efficient by controlling heat and air, we are absolutely causing side effects in moisture and toxins because the home is a system.
So the next time you're thinking of building or doing surgery on your home, remember the 4-3-2-1 approach.